ages of rock and roll.
Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, the amazing Super Chris Mallard. It is Tuesday, the day of Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Wait. I gotta look. Man, my world is messed up. Tuesday, indeed. Guess what's happening this weekend? Saturday, I will be flying to Kentucky, and Sunday, I will be the master of ceremonies, the MC, if you will, at the Ark Encounter protest, introducing all the wonderful people that are going to speak there. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you can be there, be there. If you can't be there, I'm going to try to stream it live, as best I can. It depends. I'm going to be testing my equipment today that I'll be taking and seeing how it's all going to go. If it's going to go, at worst, I'll record it. Okay. At best, I'll be able to stream it live if we can get some kind of Wi-Fi there. We'll see how it goes. But good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So, Ark Encounter protest this coming weekend. Don't miss it. And we are back. Thank you all for joining us this morning. It's been a crazy, crazy morning. Randy asks, what's up, peoples? And what's the what are the cannabis laws in Kentucky? They are not friendly. They could be friendlier. They're not. There we go. All right. Now, good morning. Here I found Ryan. She was hiding. Good morning, Ryan.
Well, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? You're running like a fool.
I am, but I'm here. I made it.
She's here. Good morning. Glad to have you. We're going to have Punk Apostate joining us here in a little bit. He's just lazy. He's a sleeper. He just, how it is with these people. You're like, dude, be here like at this time. And you're like, dude, where are you? He's like, oh man, I just woke up and I'm down and getting a coffee or something. I'm just making up lies about him now.
Chris, you know how lazy atheists are.
That's so true. He's probably off getting a coffee with baby in it, a baby coffee. Oh, is that him?
He's probably aborting a baby and drinking a coffee at the same time.
That's what he's doing, I think, at the same time. Let's see here. Damn, it's not letting me use my camera. It's his face, I think. Have you restarted your computer? Can you see me, Punk Apostate? Or do I have to type in here? Let's see here. That out. Boop. There we go. I want to type at him. Okay. Have you rebooted? Blessed it, prayed over it.
Yeah, like Kip said, he's the punk apostate. What do you expect?
Yes, he is. Good morning, Kip. How are you doing today? Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Yesterday was a good day. Caitlin Chloe's here. Casey, good morning. How are you doing? I was watching her man do a debate the other day on TikTok. Or not TikTok. What was it on? Was it TikTok? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. Maybe I got to get into it one of these days. I don't know how they do it.
I think you'd like it.
You think? Debating?
Yeah, I think you would.
I get kind of feisty. They call it Ranty Chris. And yeah.
But also think of how that might change once medicated. Maybe the rants will, they could maybe chill out a little bit, or I don't know, maybe have a little more discernment or something. Who knows?
Maybe. Maybe we'll see. Caitlin, TikTok, those callers are nuts, aren't they? They're crazy. I was watching, 3 times. Okay. Let me ask him a question here. Okay. How about this? Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. I'm just trying to get our guest for the day, Punk Apostate. We've never had these kind of problems with. It's actually his camera is giving him grief. He'll be here. He might see if he can pop in without it, and we'll see if I can get his camera to go or not here in just a minute. Congrats, being a grandpa is awesome. I am not a grandpa yet.
Who's not? Who's
future
a grandpa?
Who's almost a grandpa? Oh, Kip Davis. Wow, way to go. Congratulations. Yes, way to go.
Yep, wow. You're a young grandpa.
Yeah. Started early there, did you? Goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, them atheists are.
T.I. says hello from Palestine. Good morning, T.I. Nice to have you. I would be surprised if they actually could see the show in Palestine. I am surprised if, you know what I'm saying.
They have internet, but they have to get it through like those SIM card things. Like there's actually, if you would want to help Palestinians connect to the internet, you can buy them a card. There's a woman there's a woman on Twitter. Damn it. I'll have to share that later. I don't have it on me. But yeah, you can Sims for Gaza. So they could be here, but
sometimes we have, what are the word? I call them antagonists. Other people gently call them trolls. Not that I'm calling you a troll. I'm wishing for the best. If you're familiar with our stream, you know what I'm talking about. So it's good. I wish you the best.
Is that Palestine, Texas, or is it Palestine? Is it pronounced different?
Is it Texas? There is a Palestine, Texas.
Is it Palestine?
Yeah, as far as
I know, because I think there's also another place that's Palestine somewhere else in the country.
Interesting. Well, we'll find out more as they're able to chat. That's a good question, Cad. See, that's a good point. Good morning, Cad. Thank you for joining us. Kip Davis, I'm so old, so very old. Chick Magnate, 50 is too young to be a grandparent. I'm 50. I'm not a grandparent, though, so I can't speak. Good morning, RDZ. Thank you for joining us. Chick Magnate. Austin Sims is here. Scott Duke, man, everybody's rolling in this morning. Was there like, don't you people have to work or something?
It's a weirdo convention.
I didn't say it. She said it. Good morning, everyone. Rational Poet Jackie says, are either of you going to be the Freedom from Religion Foundation convention in Myrtle Beach, October? I wasn't. But, I'm up for any of them. I didn't know about it until just now. Let me make that a note here. Because, that's kind of something I've been doing here. Let me come over here to the note-taking place. That's not the note-taking place.
You're still... There he is.
There I am. Oh, there he is.
Oh, no, wait, look, he's all greened out. He's keyed out.
He's kind of keyed out. Yeah, I know. It's like, well, you can if you want to. It wouldn't take much. I'll even block you. I'll hide you while you do it so they don't see your pajamas.
Don't let anybody see behind the curtain, Chris. God damn it.
There you go. I've hidden you. We can't hear him, which is kind of a blessing, I think. Can't hear you, so I'm going to communicate with you through interpretive dance. Still can't hear you. I see you talking. No, you're all right, man. I like I'm an ass sometimes. Let's go audio settings.
Oops.
His microphone is default line 2 PreSonus audio box is what you've chosen. If that is the correct microphone. Let's go here. Default. Oh. What about your microphone, your built-in microphone? You want to try it?
Yeah, maybe another one would work.
I'm going to hit this button and see what happens. Does it do anything? I can't hear you. Are you there? Ball Weep Grano Weep Mini Bond? All right, cool. I'll just leave that there. Default. because I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay. And you might try refreshing your page just in case. That might help. I love refreshing stuff. I may refresh my page. That may fix it.
True.
Oh, are you back? She's back even now. There we go.
I'm back.
There we go.
Oh,
She is
Dave.
back. Dave Murphy, good morning, Dave. Thank you for joining us. We are having, as you can see, the usual. You're getting it, girl. You're getting it. You're getting it. You're getting it. Lauren Bobich was
a plane.
Lauren Bobich was a grandmother at 36. What an excellent moral example for everybody. Thank you for pointing that out, Caitlin.
I hear you.
There you are.
All right.
I see. Be amazing. Dave says, excuse me, tell my boo Ryan. I said, hail Satan. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, boo.
Hey, Punk Apostate, man. How you doing?
Welcome.
Good,
Thank you for floating in the atheist space with us this morning.
Oh, yeah. Glad to be here. This is awesome.
I was making a note about something, but by the time I got the note place open, it was everything had happened in either of you going to the Freedom from Religion Foundation, that is FFRF convention. I need to get, maybe I can get him to do it this weekend. I don't know though. In October. I'm checking that out. You know, I bought some books from,
you read?
No, I never read them. What the hell? Why would you read the book? They just make you look good. You just put them on the shelf behind you.
That's right.
Oh man, from Dan Barker. I bought Dan some. I actually met Dan Barker in person, 12 years ago here in Albuquerque, and I bought some of his books at this little meet and greet. And I was going to have him sign them, but I was so nervous by the time I got up there, I didn't do that.
Oh, I hate that.
I don't remember what I did. I'm glad I didn't pass out. I've been through theater training since, all that business, so I'll be better. Good morning, Punk Apostate. How you doing, man? Brentley?
Excellent. Yeah,
Awesome.
doing great. Yeah, I don't know about, where is the FFRF convention? Do we know?
This here said Myrtle Beach in October.
Beach. Nice.
Myrtle Beach.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Let me go here. FF Myrtle Beach. Because I am going to the Ark Encounter protest this weekend.
Oh,
and
awesome.
then,
yeah.
let's see. In the RTL Beach. And then I will also be at the NanoCon. I'm going to be at NanoCon.
Nanu. Oh,
Nanu.
Oh, yeah. That's up in Canada. Oh, yeah.
NanoCon is in Nashville.
Oh, I'm sorry, not NanoCon. What's the one in Canada?
It's BajaCon.
Baja. Okay, that's
yes.
right. Too many cons.
I'm a little too brash for the BajaCon. They're like, no, we don't like you. You're mean. Austin Sims is here. Philip Lister, thank you for joining us this morning, Philip. Waiting for the tide to turn and lock the gates to open so I can boat out to the wash. That's awesome. Stay safe out there, of course. That's wonderful. Kim and Katie, Chloe. Caitlin Cullen. I'm just checking my chat here. All right, man. So how's it going? You're going to come on. You're going to talk about some, don't tell me the word. Indoctrination is your bag, right? Well, I did a poll today.
Oh, no.
I did. Would you like to see my poll?
Yeah, let's do. I would love to see your poll.
I knew you were into that sort of thing. Let's see here. So the question today is.
He advertises for adamandeve.com all the time. So
he does.
We're all about
get your butt filled properly, he says. Right? I mean, I've seen some of his shows. I hope it's working. I can just see him rolling in all that dildo cash.
Oh yeah. People always need a dildo. It's crazy.
Is dildo cash different than other cash?
No, they're like camel bucks,
Might want to wash them.
Oh, camel bucks. True.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our poll for the day. Let me pull our poll up here. The question of the day it's about indoctrination. What do you think the most significant harm caused by religious indoctrination? What do you think is? Yes. Okay. And the options, I only have 4 options, are suppression of critical thinking, fear-based control, psychological trauma, or I don't believe religious indoctrination is inherently harmful. And so far,
I don't even know
that was. Well, I agree. I just kind of
just in case there's somebody that's
given a
wrong out there.
spectrum.
Yeah,
exactly. Give them the opportunity to be wrong. Well, we also give them the to publicly be wrong. We also have this the comments. Philip Lister, fine. I don't know. I don't understand that in context. 1, 2, and 3 are all true and bad. Very true. Bomb Poppy, very clever and true. I like Bomb Poppy. Fear-based control, and the other 2 derive from it.
right.
Finest
Oh,
plugins.
yeah.
I wonder if Finest Plugins is related to your Adam and Eve butt plugs. That would be hilarious. A line of butt plugs called plugins. Why has no one thought of this?
Plug it in.
Why has no one thought of this? I'm just saying.
That is brilliant, really.
It
And
is.
it lights
Wile E.
up,
Coyote.
you know,
Super genius.
lights up when you plug it in.
Little glowworm, little lightning bug.
Wow. Butt
Mating call.
plugins. I dig it. There goes the advertising on this show. Need to know.
I was saying, yeah. Code Brantley, you know, that's
Johnson and Johnson, if you're listening.
there you go. Yeah. There's a partnership that could be. Yeah.
That's right. We got JF9912 in the chat this morning, in the comment section this morning, and has really truly been focused on the percentages and how they don't quite come up to 100%. I never knew that, but you know, that's cool if you want to go read that. Though, and of course, I feel like it's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Facebook or
so-
they decide, or YouTube decides who gets the extra.
Third bird.
And then Left-Handed Jedi says religion is the Iron Age version of. I saw it on the internet, so it must be true. That's how I learn things on the internet.
That's pretty good. I like that.
So,
That's dead on.
good morning, Brent. Hey, Austin Sims, man, we've got a ton of people watching already. You're quite a draw. Let me ask you, Brent, for those of few out there who don't know you, would you mind telling us about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Brantley. I do a channel called Punk Apostate where it just kind of, do something very similar to this, actually, except it's just me trying to occupy all of the entertainment myself, which is quite difficult. But just reacting to fun stuff, to FundyTube, really. And just, reacting to it, hanging out with chat. Yeah. Fundy. It's fundamentalist YouTube. It's just kind of, I shortened it, you know, it makes it a little easier.
No, I get you. I got it. Oh, that was great. I was actually just enjoying it in my brain when I repeated it. I was like, oh, funny too. I dig
it's
it.
kind of fun to say, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It rolls off the tongue, you know?
It does, right? Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, I do that. And I was homeschooled. I was heavily indoctrinated, you know, all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that explains your interest in indoctrination. You two, gosh, I guess. What kind of indoctrination did you go through, Punk Apostate or Brantley? We'll start with you.
Oh, it's so funny because like it was just evangelical, but I think because it was this like weird like little corner of like the Calvary Chapel movement, and it was like everybody was homeschooling their kids. Everybody, you know, it was very strict fundamentalist type belief system and everything. They were like pretty loose when it came to like how you looked. That was like the only place where they kind of were like loose about it. But as far as like all of the beliefs and all the thought crimes and all that type of stuff, they were very fundamentalist and very high control. But they just wanted us to, I think, be able to witness to people that were, you know, punk and subcultures and stuff like that. So we were like super fundamentalist, but looked like we were, you know, the metal kids and the punkers and stuff. So it's kind of a weird, you know, kind of weird.
That's an interesting dichotomy.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of odd.
It explains why you're so into the indoctrination part and you know, trying to unindoctrinate people, as it were. You know, of course, we call it deconstruction, but you know what I mean. Right. That's interesting that you'd take on such a challenge like that. Because, I mean, Ryan is that way too. I was loosely indoctrinated. So, I mean, I was never properly indoctrinated. So I'm not really against that aspect of it. I'm against the whole, and that's one of it. But it's interesting to see people who have been indoctrinated fought their way through and then turned against that indoctrination on their own.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah. It's weird how deep the hooks get into your brain. Even like when you know the stuff isn't true, the leftover trauma and everything else just like, you know, messes with you for years to come.
Right. It doesn't just disappear because you now can face it and understand what it is. It doesn't change all the guilt and fear, the experiences that you suffered through because of that indoctrination. I wish it was like a light switch and we could just say, oh, good joke.
Right.
You got me.
Yeah. Oh, now I can be
You got
normal.
me.
Yeah. No, because you're right. I mean, and it's like a lot of the just like I noticed with me anyway, it was like one of those things where they beat you over the head with you can't do it on your own because they're
Yeah.
trying so hard to get you like in the group or whatever. Like just rely on the religion or whatever. Just like say you can't. So don't try to do it on your own. You're broken. You can't do anything right. You're gonna, you need God. You
Yeah.
need us. You need this whole thing, and that you internalize that without realizing it. And even after you leave, you're like, I can't do anything. I don't know what's wrong. If something's wrong with me, I can't do stuff. But it's like, no, it's not true. You just, you just got to like reason your way out of that sort of thing and kind of get deep in there. But yeah,
There's a scripture that tells you don't lean on your own. I can't remember exactly interpretations or instincts or whatever the heck, but it tells you don't trust yourself. Don't believe in yourself. Question everything that you do and only rely on the authority of the Bible, which is obviously through some mouthpiece of a dude telling you what to believe.
Yeah, what their interpretation is. Yeah.
Lean not on your own understanding, rather trust in the Lord.
That's the one. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yep. Yes.
I translated it into Texan, but sorry.
It fit. I understood it. That's all I needed. I just needed to digest it.
Ben Nine Lives, ex-Catholic. Were you saying you were ex-Catholic? Oh, recovering Catholics are everywhere. There you go. That's the way to put it. Yeah, and so I'm learning. So are other religions. I mean, Catholic is a form of fundy. I mean, it's just they're all just different forms of fundies. Brian, Brent, and I got Brentley and Ryan on the show. I'm just
Brian.
I'll be okay. They're like, when did his dementia start? Well, we can pinpoint to it right here. We saw it eking in. Ryan, do you want to? I mean, you were an ex-Jehovah's Witness, right?
Yeah.
And you only recently, 6 years ago or so?
It was right around COVID where it kind of hit me. Like all the cracks had been forming in the foundation. It just, I think I finally was ready to accept and be open to the possibility that I was lied to, because that's just a big pill. That's a hard pill to swallow. But I think I was finally in a vulnerable place where I felt comfortable to be vulnerable, I should say.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because that's a tough place to get. It's like a lot of times you're too scared to like even admit that you could be wrong. That's like, which is crazy.
You were fooled.
Right. Yeah. Nobody wants to admit that.
and from what I remember, you said there in at least the Jehovah's Witness cult, there's this that you're at least to a degree compelled to report on others or to watch others, or to monitor them, sort of like what we saw in what we've been seeing in the Handmaid's Tale, where they
surveil each other. Yes,
very creepy.
They heavily police each other. They try to keep their system clean, is how they see it. If you allow a bad apple in the bunch, the rest will spoil. So that's how they see you. That's how they see every single individual, even your own family. Can be seen as a bad apple.
Yeah, they would do this thing where they would just like come up to you and be like, "Hey, Brentley, we need to talk," and then like bring you over to the side and be like, "Look, buddy, I heard you went to a rated R movie, and my heart broke for you, and I mean, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?" And if that didn't work, if they hear you went to another rated R movie, they will go get 3 or 4 people, all of the church fathers or whatever, the pastors, and then they'll do the same thing again. And if that still doesn't work and you're still seeing rated R movies, they will bring you in front of the damn church. Be like, "This kid's watching rated R movies. Parents, where you at? Your kid's on stage being shamed." It's like, wow, dude. Yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no kid is ever going to feel comfortable having a heart-to-heart conversation with their parent if they can never really be themselves and have to hide the things they enjoy or they like that might be taboo. It's so isolating.
It really is. It's really isolating.
And that's what they want. That's their goal. Good morning, Gary Shikowski. Shikuski. I think I said it. It's like Shikuski. Good morning. Nice to see you. Obi Atheist Misinterpretations. Nice to see you. Philip Lister. I'd like to somehow get with you about which channels. Philip Lister is very gracious and allows me to stream in quite a few of their Facebook groups. I just want to get with him and make sure it's still okay. It's been like almost a year since we first made that accord. I want to make sure, because I generally just post and run. If somebody comments on it, I'll go back and talk to them. If it's some people, you just screw them, but but it's a lot of things. I just want to make sure that it's still cool to be doing that. So I don't get to see him often in the chat. So Raven Lunatic is here. Just kicks in the door. Good morning, Raven Lunatic. Where do Catholics? Why do Catholics believe in the holy ceremony of baptism? Because they like to wash their sex toys.
Oh God!
That baptismal pool is filled with fecal matter and
other things, apparently.
Yeah, you name it, it's in there.
Yeah. Wowzers!
It's not a sink. Father.
Well, we're still working on Father Flanagan's holy water bidet, where it takes the water directly from the holy water thing where you did takes that, and we reuse that water. You don't want it to go bad, so they just take it to the Yes. Father Flanagan line of products coming soon. Good morning, John Hudson. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Oh man, I need to fix your name there. Pardonnez-moi. It's Brent Lee, correct? BRENTLEE.
Or LY, either way.
LY, all right.
Yeah, that's my Facebook name, because you have to have a last name, and I don't want to have a last name because then people will know who I am, and I don't want that smoke, coming from the.
Understood. You don't need that kind of problem,
right? Yeah. So I went with Brent Lee on Facebook.
We've got Native Atheist. I just got to do my thing real quick. Shout out to everybody. Less than best. Good. And now, does anybody ever wonder where we get the vocals for our goat in the commercial, the goat scented flesh candle commercial? Now you know. We've got our own goat scream. I was calling out somebody in the chat. She's okay.
I'm okay.
Less than best. Haha, I think it's more like the posture with the head back is you giving yourself without any resistance. Trust. I think I missed something. Good morning, less than the best. I'll try to keep up with the chat, man. It goes very fast. Lots of wonderful people are here. A couple of assholes too. But we don't talk about Brentley that way when he's here. Brent A is here. Jason from Dragons and Genesis podcast. Trip is here. Man, everybody, you guys are wonderful. I'm glad to see you all. So I'm going to go ahead and run us, just so you'll know, those of you who aren't familiar with it. We'll do some goat candles, and when we get back, we're going to talk to Brentley some more, and then we're going to do Theocracy Watch. But first, goat candles.
Have you sinned again? Oh, and it's bad this time. A chicken just won't do. But wait, you don't have a goat for your burnt offering. Oh no, the Lord's wrath is upon you.
Insignificant person whose name I don't know, you have sinned. Probably. I shall smite thee.
What do you do? You're all out of goats. She left you for another man.
Fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet, savory scent of burning built flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that hundred snow, light a candle or you're going to hell.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're both a lot of fun, and we're back, everybody. Kelly Laughlin is in the house. Good morning.
Oh shit! No.
John the engineer and John the skeptic will both be there for the. We're talking about the Ark Encounter protest. Yes. Oh yes. Are you going to be there? Kelly, it'd be awesome if you could be there. Kelly's going to be there.
Brantley.
Oh, I wish I could be there.
Wait, where are you from, Brantley?
I'm in Florida. Yeah, that's it's not too far, but you know, it's fun. I just did the Florida free flow, and so it kind of broke. No, that one broke us. But next year,
well, they do have the one coming up in Florida for the FFRF.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, I think we spoke about it earlier. Yeah,
it's in Florida.
Where was it? Oh, I'm sorry. No, I thought it was Florida. I got it wrong. It's not Florida.
It's Texas.
Myrtle Beach.
You always mix up Texas and Florida. Oh, okay. That's the two words.
Myrtle Beach. So. Sorry. Yeah. That's my bad.
Where's Myrtle Beach? Okay, no mind. It's fine.
I think it's in one of the Carolinas or the Twilight Zone somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
I wonder if the name Myrtle's ever going to come back.
I don't think
that is a name that's kind of died off, isn't it? Myrtle.
It really is. You know, I mean,
was Myrtle in Harry Porker?
Right.
Was there a Myrtle in Harry Porker? Or am I
I think the Screamer, Myrtle, the Myrtle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Myrtle,
the girl,
the
like, or
ghost.
something like that. Yeah.
Who lived in the toilet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No wonder they named her Myrtle.
Right. Exactly.
I
Myrtle and Gert.
apologize to all the Myrtles. Oh, Gary, I'm sorry to your grandma.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Myrtle's a wonderful name that makes you sound pretty.
It rhymes with turtle.
Yeah. So
what happened? Oh, my grandma is Myrtle. Gary, that's awesome. See, and that's kind of the point. The name is an old. Gary, how old are you? And how old's your grandma? And see, I know it seemed like a funny question, but it was actually a legitimate question. The reason why it seems like an old name to us now is because in our generation, it was a name that people a couple of decades, it was an old name, but sometimes names come back into fashion.
Yeah.
And I was literally, when I was doing that, I was actually questioning, I wonder when or if it'll come back. But
I hope
we're
it
rooting
does.
for you, Myrtle.
Yeah. And Gert,
you got
too.
this. You got
Gert
this.
needs another
94.
chance.
Way to go, Myrtle. We'd love to have you on the show. That'd be fantastic. Is she an atheist or is she Christian? We wouldn't want to.
Sounds Christian. I'm going to be honest.
Kill her if she were a Christian.
Yeah. 94. Let's not push our luck. Stop here, people.
Those breaks.
Theo says, my name is back in fashion. Yeah. I guess Theo.
Is your name really Theo?
Is your name really Radically?
Is your last name really radically?
Sounds good.
You don't look like the Cincinnati Radicals that I ran around with. Myrtle is a flowering tree. That's interesting.
Oh.
Daphne and Gertrude.
Oh,
Yeah.
Daphne.
Daphne's good. That one
I
could
love
come back.
Daphne.
Daphne sounds pretty. Gertrude is just, it kind of reminds me of Myrtle. Is it the
Yeah. I think,
Maybe.
in it?
there's something just not pleasant about Gertrude. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just sounds
Ambush
like
Deposse.
a bad guy. Ambush
Yeah.
Deposse. How we doing?
Yeah,
like
good morning, Ambush. Doris is cool. I used to. All right. Ambush Deposse says my sister's name is Doris and she's only 32. Doris also is an older name. I had a couple of aunts. One of them was my favorite aunt, even though she was a little bit hard on the edges, rough around the edges. She was a nurse. Okay, she was a nurse. Her name was Aunt Nina. She went by Nina. And then there was the mean aunt. The mean aunt who had a small poodle-like dog that lived between her feet whenever she sat in her chair, and she kept a yardstick. And if it did anything wrong, she would smack it with a yardstick.
Oh my God.
That was no.
It's the darkest
I know.
evil ever.
Her name is Doris. If I've told stories on this channel about being a kid and being so scared to go to the bathroom that we peed down between the bed and the wall. And then later, my younger brothers, who were separated by like 5 or 6 years. So me and my twin brother were gone and they were there. They went through the same experience that they did the same thing. And one of them did it and didn't realize there was a receptacle behind the wall and almost caught the house on fire.
Oh,
Oh my God. Well,
She was not, because she set her chair, that one with the dog, right? And she could see right down the hall, and she's watching TV right there. And she could see down the hall, going down the hall to the bathroom.
so she could sit, so you would just go in the room.
Right. I mean, just to say, if she was going to beat her dog with a yardstick, what would she do to kids that weren't hers?
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair logic right there.
and you know what? I think
Still
people
just
used
right
to treat their dogs differently back then, like always
That's
leaving the
true.
dog outside chained up.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Just different kind of.
That's how I was
We've
raised.
kind of become more aware that we should
Mhm.
treat animals and people better.
Right. Yeah. Used to put them in the cars too. That was like until people started busting out people's windows, and thank
Yeah.
you for those,
Oh,
to those
yeah.
people who busted out the windows like that.
Right.
Oh, wow. All right. So Ambush to Pot says, are y'all ready for this? My first name is Carol. Carol with 2 R's and 2 L's. Okay. That's cool. Carol. I got my ass kicked by a man named Carol, and our boy named Carol, got another kid, boy, in like junior high school.
Oh, really? Wow.
I've got these names are bringing back old trauma. What the hell?
I know. Right?
Masculine
Reaching back
term.
into the memory banks.
I need to save this for whenever Michael Beverly's on the show.
Yeah.
He's the one that likes to talk about hurting dogs and horrible stories.
Oh,
What's his
Okay.
dog called? Oh, he's got a name for it. Silly dog.
Oh.
Something like that.
I've already forgotten it.
That man's got some traumatic stories.
really? Oh man. That's wild.
So Doris and Carol, though, those are classical names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say there, but there's like the one name, and now of course it's like completely eluding me, and it's like, damn, it's it's like, and it isn't around anymore, and I'm trying to think, not Anne. Anne's still pretty normal.
Yeah, there's some pretty normal
Yeah.
ones out there.
Damn, what the
Well, you know,
heck?
one of the things, if we're going to talk about naming conventions, one of the things I talk about now, we'll switch it to men's names, is a lot of men have really old names. So you could imagine, like David,
Oh yeah,
John, stuff like that.
Mark.
Michael,
Okay.
Mark, these kinds of things. Abraham,
Yep.
Abram.
Boring.
Wow.
Very old names that come and go through things. Now, these are all names that are, I feel, you know, if you're familiar with the history and you have the correct perspective anyway, these names are associated with men of atrocities.
Huh. Interesting. I never thought of it that. I mean, they'd
So-
have to be with how popular they are, right?
I don't know a lot. Oh, some week I missed it. I don't know a lot about
Oh.
David outside of his need for dick flesh. And excessive dick flesh, right? He went above and beyond.
Right.
But he is also a
Those are the things.
rapist and these other things too.
And murderer, yeah. Or unaliver. So.
Now, not everybody who's named Dave or David is named after David from the Bible. That's true. But there are a great many that are. So,
Yeah.
recent study since 2019 says no baby girls called Karen. Really, Raven Lunatic. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You know, I wonder if, I don't know, I wonder if there's got to be some kind of right-wing people that are going to go, you know what? I'm going to name my baby Karen. I
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
I could see that. Couldn't you see that? Yeah.
I could see him naming him
They want to get
David
him
after
made
David
fun
Duke, too.
Oh, David Duke.
Yeah.
Not David of the Bible, David Duke. That's his name.
Man, I knew as we were slinging poo at David, we were going to get some poo slung back at us from the Daves in the chat. We've got like an entire Dave here. Thanks for making Dave Con. Yeah, we got some Daves in the chat. So we're not all Daves or
Yeah, hashtag not all Daves.
not all. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you.
All Daves matter.
Yeah, theoretically says it's my grandma's generation. Every 2-second guy called Adolf. I bet that did. There was a lot of Adolfs before time in the before.
Oh, before.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
In the before. Diamond Dave
It's
is
actually
here.
kind of a cool name. It's sad that he ruined it.
yeah.
Really?
He really did ruin it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a cool name, but I would never ever name my child that. Anything that.
No.
What about
no,
just Dolph? Can we just do like Lundgren? Can we just
There you go. There you go. I wonder if his name is Adolf. I wonder if he just switched that to be. I gotta look that up. We have to. Diamond Dave says, yeah, like I just got to call this out though. This is fantastic. Diamond Dave says, cool, alive, and then says hello from Mongolia.
Wow.
Welcome, Diamond Dave.
That's a long ways away.
That is
First time here, popped up in your main feed. Diamond, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show, fellow burner. It is an ungodly hour here in the States, but for Mongolia, it's probably a good one. Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot of new faces in the chat.
Adolphina. It's Adolphus. Scandinavian Adolphus is what Philip Lister said. I thought maybe Adolphina.
What? Dolph Lundgren?
The full name of Adolf.
Oh, yeah.
Adolf is actually his nickname, and his full name was Adolphathon.
Let's see here.
That's funny.
For Dolph Lundgren, it says Hans Dolph Lundgren. I don't see anywhere that it says his name is Adolf in this very extremely brief search that I've done.
Adolphina.
Right. Dolphina.
That
That's. I mean, what do you want? You can just. I'm just saying. I don't want to disparage anybody, but Adolphina has got an eyebrow. That just one eyebrow. That's all I'm saying with it.
You can tell by the name. No.
She hangs out with
Tell
Gert.
by the name. Yeah.
Gert and Myrtle are her friends. Yeah.
And Bertha, of course.
And Bertha.
That was a name that. I mean, yeah. Oh, wow, that's a name. You hated your kids when they were born, did you? That's
I know, right? How do you hate them that soon? Like,
Well, I was rescued as a child by somebody named Bertha, and I thought I would, I mean, there's got to be a reason why you'd name somebody something like that.
right.
Obviously, of course, some people.
Well, my
I mean,
wife's given birth. That's it. Boom. Nailed it.
That was easy.
That's right. I like it. It's super easy. Barely an
I got all these
inconvenience.
kids. How am I going to name them all? Bench, desk, Bertha.
Oh my god.
Well, it was Bertha and after Bertha.
We don't get back up. she failed the coffin spank or whatever.
She does. Hey, Trip says, "Hey,
Sorry,
Chris, your name should have been."
You don't ever
your
know
name-
what you're going to get.
I know, right? Those first-time viewers are like, "Oh my God, what's going on? It hurts." I just want you to know therapists are standing by.
That's right.
Trip says, "Hey, Chris, your name should have been Donald. Get it? I think he's thinking Donald Duck. Close.
Oh,
However,
nice. Mallard.
Drake
Yeah.
Mallard. Drake Mallard is who? When there's trouble, you call DW.
Oh,
Darkwing Duck. That's where I got the name from.
Drake Mallard. Hell yeah.
That's where I got the name. So if anybody ever asks you a little trivia, if it ever shows up on like a trivia question on Jeopardy or some business, where did Chris Mallard, the world famous leading atheist, come up with the name Mallard? Darkwing Duck. Drake Mallard. There you go.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah.
We learn things when we watch this show. Useless knowledge, probably.
Yeah.
Dr. Schiff just said something that makes me. I'm waiting to see if anybody concurs if it's true or not. That sounds really
about
cool.
the Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah,
Huh.
I didn't know that. If that is the case, yeah.
I did not know. I hadn't heard that. Darkwing Mallard would be a pretty cool stage name, to be honest. Darkwing Mallard, yeah, Drake.
I like that.
Mallard.
Yeah.
Well, see, my stage name is also, I mean, none of them are my real name. So I could do that. I ain't as scared.
Right.
Chris is secretly a duck. Like witches? Ooh, like a witch. You know, I remember, of course, I like Darkwing, right? And I thought Darkwing's cool, but it was a long time after I'd taken over the persona, of Darkwing on the internet before I learned that ducks are some of the most grapey animals in the animal kingdom. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ducks are stupid grapey. The female ducks are so used to getting graped that their reproductive organs have developed like corkscrew turns and all this to where you kind of got to really work to get it in there. It turns and twists and all this. And by that same token, the duck male penis has also adjusted. They're really freaking long and they're corkscrewed and twisted. And it's, I mean, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Corkscrew
I
penis. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's a new word. See, again,
to get a visual, and I'm, it's not.
I don't think they're selling that on adamandeve.com.
Probably not. Probably
If you
not.
want a corkscrew penis.
Right.
Humans haven't gotten that grapey yet. We're on our way, but
We're well on our way now.
You want to hit your prostate
Kirk,
and your tonsils?
Yeah. That's
Oh man.
Brent is saying, is Chris saying that he can?
Silicone in your mouth.
What's that, girl?
I
Say
said
silicone?
stick something in your butt and taste silicone in your mouth.
Right. Let's see. The mustache from Chaplin, then Michael Jordan got it from Hitler. I think actually, to be honest, to be fair, and I could be wrong, but I do know things occasionally, and that the reason why Hitler wore his mustache that way was because he was a veteran of World War I and had experienced gas. And for gas masks, they require you cut off the side of your mustache so you can get a proper seal on your face. And so that mustache was related to a lot of that. Mustaches also were really big in the late 1800s for, I believe it's late 1800s. They were really big in military men, like generals and colonels and stuff. You'd see these like black and white photos of these generals. That's part of the reason why not the Mennonites, but is it the Mennonites? Starts with an H. The ones with the horses and stuff, the horses and buggies.
that is Mennonites, right? Isn't that,
no, but that's the reason why they don't have mustaches at all. Is because of it was a symbol of war. Whenever they split up and they moved over here to the United States, the Amish.
Okay.
The reason why they don't have mustaches was because it was like in protest of those warmongers who had big mustaches.
Oh, that's why they all got the Abe Lincolns going on.
I guess that's kind of that was their thing. Yeah.
Huh.
I've never found that doesn't rock for me.
Yeah. I'm
No, it
cool
doesn't
with
work
the
for me.
more facial hair.
That's a cool way of
fun.
peaceful
Yeah.
protesting, though. I mean, I think we've seen that through the centuries of somehow adapting a symbol and then using it to champion, whatever message it is that you have. I like that.
Yeah,
Of course.
that's cool.
That is true. But for me, I most of my life have rocked a goatee. Most of my adult life, I've rocked a goatee. Very rarely did I do a full beard. I never did a full beard as a youth, my 20s or 30s. I never did that. It's always a goatee.
My husband,
And that's one of those.
He always has the beard, but he won't try like the goatee or anything like that. I don't know why.
This is as much as I can do. This is it.
Yeah, I like that.
This is
I mean, I
weird.
like it all. It's all cool. I just
Right.
if you had a beard, if I had a beard, let me just say that I would be changing it up all the damn time because you can change it up every like week or two. So why wouldn't you just have fun?
Right.
Yeah. I do occasionally change mine up, but the evil one has been pretty persistent that she likes the beard.
She likes that's different.
Yeah. And I please the evil one. If she wants beard, I give her beard. And I got to be honest, I look okay. All right. Here's something else too. The beard, the beard came along about the same time as I really went dark. Okay. So now, I mean, as I really went gray. I used to.
I was going to say, is your brain went dark?
I know. I was like, I went evil. I broke bad.
So now what happens if I wear a goatee? I look like Colonel Sanders. Look like Colonel Sanders with the glasses.
Oh,
I understand.
yeah. No, I see it. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Would you? You guys? Are you hungry for chicken?
I kind of
Probably hungry for chicken.
And
Well,
it's
maybe
too early.
we are hungry for chicken.
That dude's face works. I don't know what. So it's man.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
so Chris Goth face. Ooh, I could do goth. I wonder what I'd do goth.
Oh, you should.
I want to get like. Trip says you would still love me. I want to get a. Oh, you'd still love me if I went goatee with a goatee. What I do like, I think, because I got this Western draw and I got the face for it. I got a kind of a cowboy-esque look. I do like growing in some places you'd call it like a Fu Manchu, but it's really just a long Wyatt Earp style, not Wyatt Earp.
Oh,
If it went
yeah.
out. Yeah, just a
Handlebar.
long mustache that goes down here, and all this is shaved, and all this.
Oh yeah, handlebar. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. The handle like a Fu Manchu kind
Right.
of. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah, you
broader
go join
like
a
a
biker
cowboy
gang.
over. And I got like a chin, a sexy man chin. I tell you, girl,
That's
it is
what
a
it's like,
sexy.
my husband has a butt chin, and I love his butt chin, and I'm like, I like seeing your butt chin. I can't see his butt chin.
Because he
Yeah,
grows a
mooning
beard,
people
huh?
with your chin.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's ooh, I could just shave off this part and just let my butt chin hang
I wanna
out. I don't have a
finger
butt
your
chin
butt
though. I don't have
chin.
a, there you go. I don't actually have one of those. I just got like a strong chin that juts out. I probably have a very interesting looking cranium.
Right? Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Wish
Like if
could
you were to
hold it.
see me in a, yeah. Interesting.
Without your skin.
You're like, man, this thing is crazy looking.
It is. They're like, look at that bone jutting out there.
Wow.
What
It
a
does
sexy
come
jaw that man must have had.
I'm Jay Leno.
That is quite. I'm right.
Oh, yeah,
it is
no.
Jay Leno-esque. Yeah.
Jay Leno really, his is a little much. He needs to rein that shit in. His jaw hits the door 2 seconds before he reaches out and grabs the handle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a lot of,
He looks
A lot of
down and
jaw.
kills himself, just by accident.
racks himself in the nuts.
Jay Leno is the opposite of J Lo.
That's right.
There you go.
That's a
there you
good
go.
point.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm,
He got
interesting.
the front, she got the back.
Jay Leno.
Way to go. Wild Bill Hickok. He was born near there. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That'd make me a good cowboy.
Hell yeah.
Let me do the thing. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to do, what do you want to do here real quick? You want a quick break? Let's do a break. I know. Let's do this one. Yeah, 1 minute. And what we're going to do is talk about that. And when we come back, we'll do Theocracy Watch. 1 minute.
We really need to stop with this falsehoods nonsense. These are lies spouted by who? Liars. And they need to be called out as such and shamed for their what? Their lies. When Trump's campaign began is when the rain of lies began falling down upon us. But oddly, people suddenly didn't want to call them lies anymore. They were falsehoods being told by the president. When the news started calling out his lies, he called it fake news, or as the Nazis called it, der Lügenpresse, or the lying press. Kellyanne Conway dubbed the term alternative facts to describe the lies being told by the Trump administration. But honest people knew what they were. Lies. Outright, bald-faced, look you in the eyes while stabbing you in the back lies. The president's lies have cost our nation trillions in treasure and hundreds of thousands of American lives. So stop softening it and calling them falsehoods. He didn't misspeak. He didn't misremember. He lied.
And we are back.
No, I just have YouTube open and muted.
Oh, good call. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that how you're watching the chat?
Yeah, that's how I mean, I also watch the chat with the thing so we can put it up on the screen, but I watch it all. My
Me
guys
too.
go everywhere. I can't keep
Awesome. Good morning, Left-Handed Jedi. Thank you for Hanover.
Hanover Fist. Raven. Did you make those names up? I'd like to know.
Hanover Fist. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute. I love quoting Hanover Fist.
Is there
Good morning, Raven Luna. Yeah. Hanover Fist is quotable. It's something you can stern.
Oh, I
Anybody?
don't know it.
I do a great Hanover Fist. So Hanover, yeah. All right. Thank you. Let me read these names here. Here's some funny names for you for $5 from Raven Lunatic. Marshmallow, Paige Turner, karaoke. I was reading it. I didn't get the karaoke when I read it, but I read it. Artichoke, hold on a sec. Hold on a sec, I guess that would be Mardi Gras, souffle, polyester, broccoli.
Broccoli.
Now, where did you get the
That's pretty good.
Hanover Fist from? Oh, I see it. Left-Handed Jedi. Hanover. Oh man. Have you seen Heavy Metal, the cartoon movie?
Oh no, I actually haven't seen it. I just found it on something. It's streaming, and I was like, oh my god, we got to watch this.
It's worth a high watch. Yeah, it's worth a high watch. Get a high watch and watch it. Brian, have you ever seen Heavy Metal, the movie?
Shit looks crazy.
I don't think so.
No?
I think I know about it, but I've never seen it, I don't believe. Or maybe I have and I just kind of forget. There's that possibility.
Hey, it's old. It came out a long time. It's got voiced by John Candy and a whole bunch of other people from back in the day. Hanover Fist, Stern. Okay. Oh man, here we go. I don't want to do the whole thing. Let's go here and see what's going on. Oh man, this is just too good though. It's too good. Can we do the whole thing? I'm going to do the whole thing, and they'll give me a little content strike or whatever. But man, it's going to be worth it. All right. Peep this, my homies. We're going to do this. Brantley, are you ready?
All right.
This is it's like an anthology heavy metal. It's one of those things where it's got a bunch of little different stories. So here we go, peoples. If you're unaware, the little ball is a ball of evil. It's like malevolent ball of, and he just picked it up before he walked in there. So, okay.
That is
why. For those of you, that was if you needed some trauma this morning. But it does come up occasionally here on the show where I'll go, I got an angle. If you've heard me do it, now you know where I got it from. He's like, I got an angle. And then Stern, of course, Stern. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was awesome. I was watching the viewers to see if we were going to lose viewers. Not so much. Good morning, Kit.
Wow. That's awesome.
That is awesome. I've been threatening to do the Theocracy Watch for a while now. Are you ready? Or do you need a break first, Ryan? What you need? You're muted.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I said, I guess.
Yes. All right.
I'm trying to be sarcastic, but I ruined it.
We got you. All right, here we go. Theocracy Watch.
You're tuned into the Atheist Morning Show on the Dan Network. And this is Theocracy Watch.
The Supreme Court is trying to rewrite what born in the USA means. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where we track Christian nationalism's march from church pews to the Supreme Court bench. A 6-3 ruling that lets Trump erase birthright citizenship and allows Florida to break ground on a detention empire where private prison giants like GEO Group and CoreCivic stand to rake in nearly $1 billion a year. Last Friday, the Supreme Court took a legal blowtorch to 3 nationwide injunctions, shrinking them until they cover only the families who filed the suit. With that single stroke in Trump vs. Casa Inc., Trump's plan to erase birthright citizenship for babies of undocumented parents roared back to life. Agencies must finalize paperwork by July 27th, and any child born in the U.S. after February 19th of this year could leave with a non-citizen U.S. resident stamp. More than a legal pivot, this decision is producing real-world shockwaves. One of the clearest is the fast-track construction of a 1,000-bed detention complex in Florida, ominously nicknamed Alligator Alcatraz. With an estimated $450 million per year funneling to private prison contractors and investors, such as Stephen Mallard. Does that name ring a bell? Mm-hmm. The site will create a punitive holding ground for families whose only crime is seeking safety and opportunity. Right, Pickles? The specter of a stateless child pipeline now hangs heavy. Newborns could wind up detained with their parents only to be flown to countries they've never seen, leaving them without any recognized nationality. An unimaginable fate for children who deserve stability from day one, especially from the All Lives Matter crew. All this going on while on the other side of the country, tension in Los Angeles. A federal appeals court has greenlit National Guard deployments around ICE operations and live ammo drills at the Los Alamitos base, about 2 miles from residential blocks, are already underway. Meanwhile, police arrested a 23-year-old allegedly armed, carrying fake DHS paperwork on suspicion of assault while posing as a Border Patrol officer. So now we even have more instances on the rise of people cosplaying Border Patrol, underscoring how immigration rhetoric is feeding into this vigilante swagger. Indigenous leaders aren't silent either. The Muckasucky and Seminole nations warn that Alligator Alcatraz trespasses on sacred lands inside Big Cypress National Preserve and could subject detainees to searing summer heat that edges into public health crisis. Taken together, these developments chart a troubled march towards a 2-tier citizenship system where one where immigrants, dissenters, and anyone deemed other face systemic inequalities and harsh enforcement tactics. It's hard to miss the irony of a movement that shouts all lives matter while backing policies that imperil the very lives that they claim to value most. And advocates for immigrant rights are surrounding the alarm, calling for urgent action and humane policy to protect the dignity of every person, regardless of their status. Because when citizenship can be bought and sold, democracy is just another asset. The GOP offers congratulations to the shareholders and condolences to the Constitution. So thank you to everybody who is on the street, who continue to face Trump's ICE goons. Please stay vigilant and safe and curious.
Thank you for that, man. This whole alligator Alcatraz thing is just shameful.
Right?
I understand it to a degree. Like to have a prison where you can have a prison, but they're proud of where it's at. They're proud of the danger. They're proud of the harshness. Cruelty is the point.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Right? And that's so dangerous they claim to care about children, but now you're going to leave children stateless. And what? Because, well, they're not here legally, so that doesn't matter. Wait a minute.
The only time they care about children is whenever it furthers their rhetoric for some other point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oppressing women, for example. That's the only, once they can no longer oppress the woman about the baby, they don't care about it, right? It's now all of a sudden, let the baby do whatever. They don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
We got some new faces in the chat. Look at that. Alosa, we need to start calling ICE who they are, the Proud Boys. A lot of the ICE have been called out as being Proud Boys. They've caught them with their tattoos. They've matched, well, I've seen on the internet, trust what you will, that they've got photographs of an ICE agent who was a convicted insurrectionist, who is now an ICE agent. They were able to identify him by his tattoos. Intellectually, let me see this here. Intellectually Lazy says, your survey wall pissed me off. I only come here to say my ears are ringing, but I really don't like your corporate assholes for that thing in my face. What are we talking about? My survey wall? Oh, the asking if they've shared the thing. Oh, I get you. Like the second person in 2 days that said they don't like the fact that they're asked if they like the stream or not whenever which I think is kind of common, whenever I pop into any of the other streams. It seems
I get it all the time, or something like some kind of poll pops up.
Yeah. True enough, some kind of poll. Anyway, for the poll that people don't like, apparently 69 of them have voted. Yes, they have shared the stream. Yes, that's a good one. 68% have said yes, they have shared the stream. 7% said no, and 14%, which I think is probably like 2 or 3, maybe 2, said you never, you atheist scum. That's awesome. Good morning, Intellectually Lazy. Intellectually Lazy is actually complaining about having to close the poll, which makes sense. I mean, with a name like Intellectually Lazy, right?
It is.
At least you're sticking the point, sticking the message.
Got to put polls away and stuff with the swipe and everything. It's ridiculous. It's absurd.
Later. It is crazy. I know. Later, Kelly. Thank you for joining us, man. Hope to see you this weekend in Kentucky. Looking forward to it. Raven Lunatic says he loves a good poll. We knew that about you, Raven. Nikki Perry says rich don't pay taxes, so citizens get the blue line gang, fines, courts, costs, all the exploitation revenue. I know. We're all on the same page here. They say all you have to do is eat 1 or 2 billionaires and all of our problems would be solved. But I'm saying, listen, that's just an appetizer. It's only a matter.
One bite.
It's only a matter. It's only a matter of time before the other billionaires go, okay, this is what they did wrong, and they shore up their thing. And you kind of got to eat more than 1 or 2. Just keep them on the regular menu. We've got this is the billionaire tank over here, and anytime one of them reached billionaire status, just throw them in the tank like you would an octopus or something in a fancy restaurant.
That's right.
That's weird. I just got weird.
Good, quite violent.
Apostate Babe is here. Linda James, good morning. The city I grew up in, which is LA County, the mayor has asked the gang members to handle ICE. You know,
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
If that is true, that's pretty wild.
You know what I've heard is that they're not. ICE are not going in there. They're not going as much as you would think. They'd rather go after other easier targets than going after some.
Oh yeah,
people.
they are going for the easy pickings. That's for sure. They're trying to go where they can round people up, but they're looking for any easy target. Yeah, and they've been given the green light to, if they look like they could be somebody who shouldn't be here, hassle them.
That is crazy.
Yeah, the police do have gangs.
Yeah, they do. They basically are one, honestly.
Mm-hmm. They're big gang.
They work a lot like a mafia, you know, to where they'll have plenty of bodies to throw in front of in front of themselves before anybody gets in trouble.
True. Swim says Luigi saved many more lives than he took.
Luigi.
Here we go.
Luigi.
Yeah, we gotta. I don't know about saving lives, only because somebody else stepped in. There was no gap in denial of services.
Right.
The denial of services continued regardless. So I don't really think he saved lives. I think you could say, if you're of that mind, you could say he avenged them.
There you go. Yeah, he's an avenger, really. I mean, that's what we've all been saying anyway, right?
Kind of, yeah. Well, there's this big message not to call things out like that, because then you'll encourage more people to do it and stuff like that. And I wouldn't want to do that, of course.
Yeah. Never. I mean, in any kind of practical sense, I always get into these conversations because, like, I've had conversations where it's like, oh, violence is, people will say sometimes it is. It's like, okay, but you get that once we say that it is the answer, they're going to be like, yes, all right, violence is finally the answer. All right, get the AKs, guys. Come on, no, load them up. Let's
right.
And you're like, oh, shit. It's like,
true.
But see, part of the deal, again, you may have noticed this in the news yourself. They're not waiting. They're not waiting. How many assaults have we had in the last week by right-wing people? The firefighters who were shot down by a right-wing nutbag. There was of course the politicians who were gunned down 2 weeks ago, and their dog. Right-wing. They're not waiting. They're not waiting for us. The war has already started. Yeah.
That's the homegrown terrorism that Trump was talking about, but he won't recognize their terrorism.
Right. Yeah. Won't call it terrorism.
They're terrorizing people. People are truly living in fear that they're going to be scooped up for no reason.
It's insane.
Right. Raven Lunatics is for $5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, why is the position reverse cowgirl banned in Alabama? Because you never turn your back on family. Thank you for that, Raven Lunatic. You know our culture very well over here to be able to pick out the state and everything. Alabama people, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I'm a bad person for not being better.
At Stonewall? Oh my gosh.
What's that?
Ember said teens were shot at Stonewall. I did not hear that.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, teens. There were a couple people shot.
What? Oh my God.
It was a pride rally, I believe. Yep. My understanding, it was, well, I can't really speak. I saw a super brief that I'm not even going to mention it here. That's how brief it was. But all right, so let's talk about, we also got the other thing about what's going on over in Ukraine. And we've already talked about the Zionists and the Gaza and all that, and Ukraine. We've got, I don't know if people know this. I want to point out a couple of little facts real quick. Pardon me for being a little scatterbrained.
Yeah, I live
almost as many Gazans have been killed as Americans were killed in Vietnam.
Jesus.
There's allegedly around 60. Let me go here. I'm sorry. Where's my numbers here? 58,200 Americans were unalived during the Vietnam War. It's like 56,000 is how many people, whenever you look up how many people have been, I don't know why I lost the page on that. That must be here. Nope, that's not there. How many people? Because I lost my page on it. Yeah, it is around 56,000 people have been killed in Gaza since October.
I think it's way higher, but Sure.
Right. Those are the estimates. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably around 100,000. If you look at how, like literally 90-something% of Gaza is leveled, it looks like
Oh my God.
looks like a bomb went off. But either way, yeah. I mean, it's the amount of explosive they set off over there is more than Hiroshima. I thought they were saying, like, it's ridiculous. The issues we're causing with our Earth too, chemicals and the contaminating the water and doing so many bad things.
Yeah, I saw there was like a really good article from BBC. That was the other day because I was just trying to like do, I try to do my best when it comes to like geopolitics stuff. It's very, especially with war stuff. There's a lot of propaganda. Yeah. So I'm like, what is the evidence, of the Shmemicide, over in Gaza, right? And I put that up, and a BBC article came up, very informative. And yeah, I think the numbers that you're citing sound very similar to what they were citing, and it's almost like, I mean, according to like every metric and every person that's an expert in this field checking on this sort of thing, it's a Shmemicide, 100%.
Yeah, even if you just listen, you're not very well read or don't know, like I didn't fucking know, but listen to the expert. Just like we tell people, listen to scientists when it comes to evolution and biology and gender, things of that nature. Try to hear the experts out. Similarly, I trust what they're saying. But we're given so much money to Israel to murder people that we've not really tried to help Ukraine. Sorry, for whatever reason, my brain was Zelensky.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't think of his name for a second. Where we could possibly be offering him more assistance. We're not. We're too busy trying to start a war with Iran and give everything we have to Israel.
It's crazy. And Ukraine's suffering from exactly what Israel did. That's just so weird, that we're like, oh, we're against it over here, but over here we're like, well, but they're Muslims though. So it's, white people versus Muslims, it's like,
well,
geez.
Here it is. What the United States is doing now is propping up other right-wing nationalist regimes across the world because the Ukraine is a democracy.
Right.
It's got some corruption issues. It's right beside Russia, and Russia has been attacking them for years and years. Even before the war, they've been trying to poison their politics and all this business. So they've had problems with all kinds of problems. But they're a democracy. Who's not a democracy? The ones we're really supporting, Donald Trump and his ilk, are really supporting Vladimir Putin. Right. Just like what's going on in Israel. Israel, the Zionists, the MAGA Zionists, that's what they are. The Zionists are the MAGA of Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu is the leader of those people. And just the other day, Donald Trump said that apparently there are charges against Netanyahu and he wants them dropped in Netanyahu's own country, in Israel. And he wants those charges dropped. It's unfair. And so he's literally supporting another authoritarian regime. If you go look and you ask any chat if Israel is an authoritarian regime, it'll tell you it is. It's becoming a dictatorship. It's if you're in Israel and you're a Jew, they don't treat you like you would expect in a fascist dictatorship. But every other measure, by any other measure, they are committing genocide. They're just a full-blown nationalist, and no wonder why Donald Trump is bolstering them.
Yeah.
These evil megalomaniacs support each other.
Absolutely.
Regime supports regime.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we've got going on over there. We've got, I was a little surprised, but then you see because at first it's like Donald Trump wasn't going to support Benjamin Netanyahu because all of his maggots here don't want him, he ran on the plot of no more war, but fuck that, right?
I know. They switched on that one pretty quick. That's funny.
I could have told you that was coming. I could have told you that was coming.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, that they would flip. And, yeah, there's a boot to be licked. They're going to lick it. Good morning, abuelo. Buenos dias.
Well, I think they were only supporting that because that was like something in the past or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they're like, well, he hadn't done war yet. So they're like, so we support him because it's all post hoc. Everything's post hoc with these people. And as soon as he does the war stuff, he's like, well, reasons. I'm just going to make up some reasons.
Yeah, the goalpost changes. Cognitive dissonance kicks in.
Yep.
Absolutely. And so many times throughout his presidency, throughout Obama's presidency, he was talking about how Obama was going to bomb Iran to get attention away from him, to do this, to do this, to do this. And I mentioned it, he bombed Iran. All of a sudden, we're not talking about the military troops being sent into California. He sent in military troops to California to keep us from talking about the Epstein files and the fact that Elon Musk was calling him out, so he escalated that over there to, hey, world, look at this, instead of what's going on.
He can make the news, so he does.
He sure does, yes. Fascist does not mean absolute. Fascist does not mean anti-Semitic. Now, good morning, Kip Davis. I'm not sure what, pardon me, the chat. Let me just read what you say. It can, but doesn't always or even often. Digital Gnosis did a great video about, okay, yeah, I get that. No, I personally never meant fascist mean anti-Semitic. No. In fact, right now, the people who are Semites, if you will, Semites, they're the ones doing the fascism. So, yeah. And something else is not, and Jews, the Israelites or the Jews are not the only Semites. There's a whole bunch of Semites over there.
Israelis. They're
not the only ones. It's a language, right? The Semite language. And so whenever
Semitic is just a language. It shouldn't have never been a people. It's just really weird. That's why I said the whole label is weird, but it's the only label we have right now to use.
True.
But
we got that. Yes.
Yeah. It's just,
we can't change that now. But anyway, yeah. But then the thing is, we've got that over there, and I've got an article up over here, and this article is from Amnesty International, and it is from February 9th, 2024. And the title of the article is Global Zionism or Zionist Hate Speech Policy Review Must Not Stifle Legitimate Criticism of Israel's Oppressive Policies. And what this article is about is they're talking to Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and other groups like that, going, listen, shit's going down over there in Israel, and people are going to be speaking about anti-Zionism. That does not mean they are anti-Zionist or anti-Semitic, right? You've got to be able to separate the two. And that's why I refer to the Zionists as the MAGA Zionists. Right. You've heard me say that on here. They're our equivalent of the MAGA, the ones who are for the state. This is their country. God gave them that. They're going to kill anybody. They don't give a shit because it's their mandate by God, And you've got the leaders at the top who are using that belief down on the bottom to foster the common man into following that. And they've been programmed, and just like we're talking about here, the indoctrination. So and now it's like having our right-wing people, our MAGA people, being told, listen, there's Mexicans down on the border, go get your guns and go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we're seeing in Gaza, apparently.
And they're giving the civilians. They've been giving the civilians gun. Like the takeovers. A lot of the takeover isn't necessarily the IDF. They are there to back them, but it's the people from the settlers who are going into the West Bank who are burning people's homes and stealing the land and pouring stuff like cement into their water system. All kinds of terrible things. They're getting free guns from the government. I don't know where they're getting their guns from. Excuse me. I don't know if we're sending the guns there and then those guns get given to the civilians, but yeah, they're all locked and loaded, man. And these are against farmers, y'all. That's right. Armed men going up to farmers who are trying to, harvest.
Mm-hmm. The whole armed insurrection was over a long time ago. That's, how many times have you heard in the news recently of where they've killed Hamas fighters?
Right.
I haven't heard them discuss that at all. No, what they're talking about now is
because
killing
they never
people lining up for food aid.
That's the problem. You can't kill Hamas. Right. They're just people. There's a ragtag group. I'm not saying they're not good fighters, but I'm just saying this is a group of people who are like, man, I got to protect myself. How can I do so? An army of everyday people just becoming. That's how the army is, but they get tons of training and the marching and the push-ups and they're just off the street. I just lost my entire family. Now I guess I might as well fight. So stop creating Hamas, stop creating the idea, and then we
Right.
can have peace. All I'm trying to say is that it's almost
you're
like
right.
an idea of standing up against the occupation, not
Yeah.
capping for anybody, none of that. I'm not saying anybody's a good or a bad. Just like,
No, I get you.
Black Lives Matter there might have been a group who ran it, but
Mhm.
more so it's an idea of
Right.
how we should treat people because of the system we're living in.
Agreed. Now, what I was talking about was we have an armed militia with guns and rifles, and not every farmer, like you were talking about, has guns and rifles and grenade launchers and all that business. So
They don't have
Gaza
anything.
Gaza did have a military force in it called Hamas, who did have weapons, who did have rockets, who did have things. That armed military force is not there anymore.
No.
They have been wiped out. Now, Hamas, like you say, the idea of Hamas is obviously still there. But Israel wiped out the fighter portion of that group of people. So there's not really this violence that's going on now is overboard and way unnecessary because there's no threat to them. They've wiped out the literal. Now they're facing the individual farmer with a gun that he managed to pick up, not an actual militia, because they wiped out all that. Now they're just killing people.
Just people, and it's like I always go with like whoever has the most power has the
Brent,
most.
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I think people are taking what I'm saying out of context. What I'm trying to say is Hamas started as a group, right? Yes, they're funded. They're also funded by Israel. But once you've killed my parents and my children, now you have me saying, well, I have nothing left. Let me fight. So you're creating an idea. Does that make sense? You're creating this idea of, well, the only way I have to fight is try to go with this group and
it radicalizes people.
You're creating people who are being radicalized. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I said, I'm not trying to cap for, just like I wouldn't cap for the IDF. I think they're doing,
Right. And all I was saying, I was not trying to defend anybody either. All I was saying was that at one point, now there's still some of them are obviously, they still have some armed resistance there. But at one point, Israel was facing a kind of a group of, it wasn't just a ragtag of farmers with a couple of old pistols. They actually had rockets and missiles and, groups and AK-47s and, but now Israel has gone through and over the past 2 years have pretty much completely disassembled the military group that was there. And now all they have left are the individuals like you were talking about, and they don't stop. Now they're still killing.
All they have left or anything. I'm just saying that they continue to create more fighters. As many as they've lost, they've probably replaced maybe and then some, because again, you're just you're leaving people with nothing. They have literally nothing, no food, nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And now they're even unaliving them as they go to get food.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they're blaming it on Hamas, which is insane. They're like saying that I'm hearing people say, "Oh no, that was Hamas doing that." And it's like, what?
I hadn't heard that, but I have heard that there are Israeli soldiers coming out and admitting that they were given orders to fire on unarmed civilians.
There's so much evidence; it's unreal of wrongdoing. It's crazy at this point for anybody to be like, "Oh no, Israel's still just like they just deserve to be able to exist." No, that's not. Come on, this is insane.
Right. And like Ryan was saying about now, a lot of them unfortunately see what's going on in Gaza as an opportunity, and what they're doing in Gaza is they're just trying to I think they just want to remove everybody.
Yeah,
completely. And the only choice they seem to like to use is militarily. I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand the complex narrative of the situation. Why doesn't Israel or Egypt go, "Hey man, you're right here. Bring us those Palestinians. Let us have them. There's plenty of land. We'll give you some land," rather than you killing them. Right. Why don't they help? Why doesn't somebody help militarily even? If you want to say that,
they're all in the same pocket.
Yeah. Well, and they're afraid of it going against Israel.
And
the United States. Israel's
exactly, because it isn't just Israel. That is the problem. I think other people probably would stand up more, but they know that it's going to be the machine that will be the machine that backs them up.
Right. That's what they're afraid of. Yeah.
That is true. And I have to say, I used to have a very, very high respect and worry and concern and fear of the Russian military. But now, after watching them being humbled over the last few years by Ukraine, it's given me pause because the United States is a very vast military, and I could see us getting humbled.
Mm-hmm.
Be humble.
Yeah. If you have seen some of the rockets that Iran has, those hypersonic rockets, they actually have them. If all they need is they could take out aircraft carriers if they wanted to.
Yeah.
If they just,
And the dome only goes so far. The dome that they've got, it takes 3 for one rocket. So you're going to run out.
Yeah, Trump is talking about doing that here. Is he not trying to?
He was.
How?
Yeah. Giving
This country
trillions
is
of dollars
so
to military.
big. Exactly.
Oh, right.
They're funneling the money from our kids, from our mouths, from our healthcare system into the military industrial complex because all of those bigwigs are going to be, oh my gosh, they're swimming in money as it is, but they stand to profit so much.
Right. But now in Iran, that as you and I were laughing about it on the show yesterday, Ryan, the Iron Dome is not working as well as they thought it was. Even the newer version, which they call David Sling, is failing. It's not able to keep up with the Iranians, Ryan was pointing out, because now they're facing a real military, not a little poorly organized militia, like compared to a real military, because then they stepped up from going after Gaza. But then what really happened when they started going after Iran was that we stopped watching what was going on in Gaza. The world's eye really kind of turned away, I feel, from what was going on. And I think that was part of the reason why they did it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Same reason why Donald Trump, remember, like I say, they are the MAGAs of the Middle East. Middle East MAGA. Donald Trump has a problem, he distracts. Oh, look at those things over there. Let me talk about this ridiculous thing over here. Have you put an infrared light bulb up your ass yet to get rid of the cooties?
Yeah.
The don't tread on me boys bend over so easy. I am shocked at how easy the don't tread on me. I've just spent yes, Trump daddy, calling him daddy. You're demented. That the level of depravity to call that man daddy. Ew.
Absolutely.
That is just, that's an image I don't want in my head.
You're so right.
No, a dude who thinks he'd date his own daughter if she wasn't his. Come on.
Right. There's just some things that this man has done that have been so cringe from the very beginning. You remember his deal about the handicapped reporter?
Oh, yeah.
That should have been the end of him right there. That should have been the end. If it was a Democrat, you remember that one Democrat and where he lost? I don't remember his name. Somebody will help me out in the crowd. He lost. His popularity dropped like a rock after a convention, a Democratic convention where there was loud music, and he went, yeah, like that. But his voice,
he was like, whoa, or something.
And that's all it took, this weird thing. There was another time a liberal guy, I can't remember his name either, he made a post, and in that post, he misspelled potato. And people were like, oh, my God, we can't be with this guy because he can't
I've done that
potato.
as well. I think I've misspelled potato.
It's
but then we've got Howard Dean. Thank you, Nikki.
How dare you misspell my favorite vegetable?
That's right. Howard Dean. Thank you.
Yes, Al Gore. I always think of that, Jim. No. He misspelled it.
Oh, was it Al Gore? Oh, yeah. So that's kind of
whoever it was. I can't remember. Was it Quayle?
I'm not sure, but that's kind of the point. Nowadays, Donald Trump could come up there, get behind the podium, take down his pants, and wipe his ass with the American flag in front of everybody. And a third of the American population would be like, do you need another flag for a second wipe?
Yeah.
Are you clean or do you need help?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And sadly, that third is what's in charge of our country right now. Yep. And just like the people in Israel and the people in Russia are trapped under right-wing authoritarian regimes, we are becoming trapped under a right-wing authoritarian regime. Why don't the Russians take out Putin? How many of you ever thought, surely there's a good Russian out there with military experience who's going, man, this is bad. They've lost almost 1 million troops in Ukraine. And yet, how come nobody's, I mean, you just kind of think, well, if that wouldn't happen in weakened Ukraine, what makes us think that something like that's going to happen in the United States, where we're going to rise up and take them out of power?
Yeah, that's right. The accelerationist view always pissed me off because I'm just like, they're like, let it get worse before, it gets better or whatever. Like, let them ruin everything. And it's like, okay, even if they destroyed everything or whatever, and we did have like a revolution, and let's say just everything burned out, who do you think is going to take back the power? The people that already had it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see a power shift going like, oh, okay, now it's going to go to all the people now that we took out. No, we're just going to have other people come in and take that same power.
Bags.
Yeah,
we need to do what they've done. Whenever we take power, we need to do exactly what they've done. Make a list of all the people we don't want in office who've proven that's what they've done. They've taken all the Democrats and liberals and made a list of the people they want to get out of their way. When we take office, we need to go, these are the people. These are the conservative politicians. Because what happens is whenever we get the presidency back, you've still got the Congress and the Senate full of conservatives.
Yeah,
and the Democratic president can't get as much done. But whenever the president comes in and he's a conservative, man, all of a sudden they're destroying our country. There's nothing they can't do. Nothing they can't do. But when the liberals come into office, it's a fucking tooth and nail to get anything done. And of course, half of them are bought out anyway. You know what I mean?
We have to be more tenacious when we get the seats. We have to stop playing this like, oh, I'll be nice and meet in the middle. I'm tired of meeting in the middle because they don't meet in the middle for us. And I'm sick of it. We need to get it to a point where this shit is enshrined. I'm tired of fighting about it.
That's right. And they have proven they're not afraid to arrest their political opponents. Right. We need to get in there and we need to do that. We need to be arresting whenever we get the office back. Why didn't they arrest Ted Cruz, or not Ted Cruz, but Matt Gaetz? Why hasn't Matt Gaetz ever seen the inside of a prison cell?
I don't know.
Because the charges against him were dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, didn't he have he also had an accomplice who pled guilty.
Who got in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. Who literally pled guilty to this. Why is he not in jail? So these are the questions. I think it's coffee time again, real quick. We're going to do what should we do today? I'm going to, in honor of our Herr President, we'll do the fascism commercial. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Today's world is confusing, and there's too much information for one person to make sense of it all. Which credit card should I pay off first? Is non-fat milk good for me? Who should I vote for? Let's face it, if you can't figure out high-interest milk, then how can you be expected to make political decisions that influence a country of over 325 million people? Well, that's why there's fascism. Fascism is the political, social, and economic system for today's world. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines fascism as a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts a nation, and often race, above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of the opposition. Choose this ideology and life will be easy. Did you ever look at someone who uses really big words and think, I wish those libs would just disappear? Well, under fascism, your dreams can come true. Under fascism, you won't have to worry about the pesky little things like brown people or atheists, or who in your country is entitled to basic human rights and who is not. Hint, hint, the answer is nobody. Yes, friends, this truly is the final solution you've been looking for. And if you're concerned if this form of authoritarianism will be up to your high standards, don't worry. American fascism will be the best fascism in the world because it's been endorsed by Jesus. So go out and destroy freedom and democracy by getting fascism today. Paid for by the Fascio Conservative Party, formerly known as the GOP.
Do you need the CPR or something there, girl? You're all right?
I think I'll survive.
If she passes out, or someone just remember to laugh and point.
It got really smoky in here all of a sudden. I don't know why. Satan must have visited.
Compelled you?
Or that.
Oh, my goodness. What are you doing?
What do you do?
Dog. One of my dogs is in here. Where's Ollie? Come here.
I'm going to take a sip of my drink.
Oh, there we go. I had to bring up Ollie for the show for a minute. Axel Ignite. Why? Because we broke Carrie Ann Chrysler. Good morning, Carrie Ann Chrysler. Thank you for joining us. Bob is here as well. And here's our little Ollie boy. He's wanting some belly rubs. He loves belly rubs. And, of course, he'll yawn for you in just a second if he hasn't already because he's a wonderful puppy dog. He doesn't like – oddly, he loves sitting when you're muted.
Obese.
That's awesome.
I didn't know you were both muted. So that's why we have the dog break. Let's see. Bob says Pickles is a secret arsonist. We had an arsonist here in Los Lunas, New Mexico. There was some guy. You're not going to believe this.
What?
It was a right-wing white trash piece of shit.
Wait, it wasn't a leftist humanist?
No, I don't believe it.
I think it's Antifa. You sure it's not Antifa?
Yeah, it has to be.
You're mixing them up.
It's radical left. It's
The
definitely
party.
radical Dems.
Right. Radical Dems do that sort of thing. Yes. Yeah. So surprise.
No such thing. That's like leftover crack. There's no such thing as radical Dems. That's
leftover crack.
That's no such thing.
Those two words don't go together
at all.
Pardon me. Raven says, Ryan, Coltastic, don't reach up to the screen like that again. I had my nipple there and it felt weird.
Tune in.
Tune in, Tokyo. If you're old enough. Axel Ignite. Fortunately, the states control the elections, not the federal government. I don't even go into that whole business. That's a whole bunch of business right there.
Yeah. A bureaucrat.
I just wanted to. The longer this goes on, the more I feel it's hard not to talk about what's going on over there in Israel. Just like here in the United States, we're a morning show. We're going to talk and joke about the Christians and the theocracy that's being posed upon us, but we end up speaking so much about religion, politics, because it's the politicians that are forcing this religion upon us. Stuff like that. So it does kind of fit. Kip Davis says, I will be streaming tomorrow afternoon about giant god dicks. Really?
I'm already drooling, Kip.
That's awesome. I might
have to cover that later. Get a lot of good ads out of that, Kip. That's
not the god.
Sure.
Just kidding.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a porn category related to that somewhere.
God dicks. Yeah.
Heavenly hung.
Wow. Yeah. Heavenly hung.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Massive member of Messiah. I love my alliteration.
Massive Messiah member, yes.
There you go. I like it. Ancient dick pics are a fascinating thing, according to Carrie Ann Crosser. And you'd be surprised at how many of those there really are. Where they've either, like in Rome, on the walls of, they used to like graffiti and draw dicks all over the place. There's an entire like ancient temple city somewhere in India, like in the and they got all kinds of naked men and women and penises and all this other business all over, etched into stone. It's fantastic.
There's a middle school desk from
there you go. There's even I know you may think I'm crazy. I think it's in South America. There's a statue of a woman. What do you call it? Squirting.
Oh,
yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Splooge.
Yeah. Somewhat, which Ryan's like, where? I believe it was in South America somewhere. But it was basically, I saw it a long time ago. It was on in past, we used to have a more open, different views on sexuality.
So cool. Yeah.
I think they were all probably on the same show.
There's a really cool stele of, I think it's of men, I believe, with an erect penis and a gnat. And I think maybe even Atherat, or it might just be a gnat. Anyway, there's a bunch of gods on it, but yeah, there's an erect, nice, big old pee-pee.
How big could it be if it's got a gnat on it?
I mean, it's almost like this. Like sometimes those penises, when they draw them, they're half the size of the person.
Oh, of course, yeah. I've seen something.
Magical penis.
The artist was trying to be flattering.
There you go.
Oh, oh God.
Exactly what you look like.
Man, that's crazy. You guys ain't right in the head. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up, and we're gonna go do things. I've got things to do. You've got things to do. Everybody's got things to do. It has been so fantastic having all of you wonderful people join us today. What I want to do is I'm going to read our super chats. Then we'll talk for a second, say bye to everybody, and then I'll give somebody if they want maybe we'll see if they want the Pharaoh's curse. Or whatever they want, I'll give them something before we leave. You guys can go. I won't make you stick to that, though. Here we go. The Mighty Philibert, welcome to the channel supporter level. Thank you very much for becoming a channel supporter. I don't know if I called it out when it happened, Philibert. So
yeah, I think I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Let's see here. Raven Lunatic for $5 says through Super Chat, what do elephants use as vibrators? Epileptic pygmies.
Oh, gosh.
I know. You ever wonder, like, who let Raven out? They allow people to have phones in asylums? I didn't know that was the case.
Raven.
Thank you for the super chat, Raven. Dade Murphy for $5 said, excuse me, tell my boo Ryan I said, hail Satan.
Excuse me.
There you go.
Gotta do the devil
Oh,
sign.
it's there you go. Devil horns. Cuckold horns.
It's important.
You know about the cuckold, right?
Oh, no.
Have you ever heard about this? Okay, so like in 17th century Europe, this symbol was to essentially call you a cuckold. It's just sort of like giving you the bird, but it's like telling you essentially you can't satisfy your wife, so you have to have another man do it for you. That's what that symbol is. The cuckold symbol, yeah. I know shit, people.
Wow. I had no idea.
I don't know.
That's funny.
I know.
Right.
Raven Lunatic says, why do Catholics believe in the holy ceremony of baptism? Because they like to wash their sex toys. I dig it.
That's good.
Recent study since 2019 for $2, according to Raven, says no baby girls called Karen, as you can imagine. Yeah.
Weird. It's really strange that one fell off.
I kind of saw that coming, though. I was just saying, I wouldn't have bought stock in the name Karen. Now would be a good time to buy stock in it because the name is down. It is down.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry for all the good Karens out there.
Yes, there's a good Karen out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to speak to the manager, though.
Her and the manager, they're all right.
For $5, Raven Lunatic said, here's some funny names for you. Marshmallow, Paige Turner, Karaoke, Artichoke, Hold on a Sec, I think is a Mardi Gras, Souffle, Polyester, and Brock Lee. And then, of course, we got all distracted by Stern.
Yep, that threw us off.
See, I do good, huh?
That is spot on. Wow.
Why is the position reverse cowgirl banned in Alabama for $5 from Raven Lunatic? Because you never turn your back on family. Again, there is almost certainly a porn category for that one.
100%. It's actually hard to find stuff without it. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
I know. To be fair, yeah, it's like, too popular.
True enough.
Yeah.
Raven Lunatic for $5 says, what do elephants use as vibrators? Epileptic pygmies. That's awesome. Thank you all. Thank you guys for your support and everything. Ryan, Brentley, I very much appreciate you. Brentley, if you don't know, he is from the Punk Apostate. I've linked his channel in the thing there right at the top.
Yeah, please go subscribe, guys.
Yeah, go subscribe. You're almost certainly already subscribed to this guy. You know this guy. I mean,
probably.
Yeah, he's a repeat offender. Ryan, thank you for joining me. Brentley, thank you. Have a great week. We'll see you later. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, Brentley. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right, let's do a Pharaoh's Curse real quick from my peeps, and we'll send you off. You.
Mi burrito es tan bueno. It burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. El ataco bueno. It stings like a bee. They told me she was his sister. Now I'm plagued between the knees. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está bueno. It burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está no bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs.
All right. Thank you for your time, everybody. I very much appreciate you. It means a lot to me that you spend your time with me in the mornings. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to get Tertia on. If you remember, Tertia is from South Africa, and she had to go to court, was facing blasphemy charges. If I can, I've been lax in my scheduling. If I can, I'll get her on tomorrow, and we'll visit with her and catch up, okay? Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful day. Sin safely, my friends. Take care.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan here to set the tone. Confession booth busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goat's the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen sink, light the goat candle, don't even think.